What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So you clearly see the title of the broadcast. And apparently, this man has married another woman. His first wife passed away, and she left an inheritance to their 16-year-old son. Now, the thing of this is apparently the new wife is feeling some type of way that she didn't know that the eldest child had this inheritance from his late mother. And they're discussing the situation about the saving for the children and stuff like that, and providing for the future. And I get it. You should have be able to provide for your children's future technically, but this situation is pretty wild. So we're going to dive off into it. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Am I the asshole because I won't tell my wife what my son / her stepson has in his savings from my late wife?
Okay.
My wife, 40, and I, 40, have a blended family. I have a 16-year-old son with my late wife. Mm-hmm. My wife has a 13-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son with her ex-husband, and they share custody. And we have a 4 and a 2-year-old together. When my late wife was sick, she told me that she wanted a percentage of her compensation she was issued for her medical misdiagnosis to go to our son's savings. She also had a second savings account she wanted to add to it. This was on top of what the two of us had already saved for him before her illness. I honored her wishes and I continued saving for our son's future. This is a promise I made to my late wife that I have stood by. I also promised that I would protect it and make sure it was only and ever for him and no one else.
And that's a great duty that he's honoring his late wife with her wishes and stuff like that. That's their son. And I really don't see anything wrong with the fact that, those two people made that agreement, on her deathbed, basically. And she wanted to make sure that whatever she could provide for her son, even when she's not here. Now, apparently, it was said that a misdiagnosis medically. So obviously it was some shady shit going on medically and stuff like that. So yeah, she won a lawsuit or something like that and got super paid. The reason probably what led up to her demise. This is wild out here. Let's keep going, people.
When my present wife and I seriously dated, we talked about what savings would look like for our kids if and when we got married. She knew I had always saved as I had with my late wife. We didn't discuss how much either of us had saved for our existing kids, but we agreed to an amount every month that would be saved for all three. And this was talked about again when we had our children together. Recently, there has been a lot of stress on my wife. Her ex has refused to discuss my stepkid's savings and if he pays anything or not. She also feels like we haven't been able to save enough every month like promised, because it was just one thing after another. There are months we've missed because of things beyond our control, like stuff, mostly things breaking, things for the house, etc. A few weeks ago, my wife told me that we should put all the cards on the table and discuss what all 5 kids have and decide how we process and proceed with making sure everyone gets what they need for their future. I told her that I would be happy to discuss what I have saved for my oldest, but I will not be discussing the money left by his mom. She pushed back on it and said all the money should be taken into consideration. I told her we do not know what all the money is. I said our parents could be saving money for the kids. Her ex might have money for the stepkids. His parents could have money for the stepkids. We can't say for certain what everyone will have at the end of all this. And it's only fair to discuss what she and I have and what we have saved.
So, she wants to add in a situation. Listen, look, man, he made a promise to his late wife and stuff like that. And, listen, look, it's no way around this. The new wife has no precedence or has no business worrying about what her eldest stepchild has from his late mother. I'm sorry, but of course, some people are not going to agree with this. Some people are. It just is what it is here. No, I don't agree with this at all. She has no business worrying about what his late mother left him. That's what she left him on her dying bed. And I don't think it, be honest with you, it's the greed for me. It's the greed. She, she feeling some type of way and stuff like that because the eldest child, probably, has a decent amount of money and stuff like that, savings and things like that. And, he can't even get hold to it. He's not even old enough to sign legal contracts yet. So, it's just ridiculous to me that you will be feeling some type of way because this young man's mother, his birth mother, left him something, and you think that you are entitled to take things out of his account and give to everybody else.
She told me it sounds like that I don't trust her. I responded by asking why she wants to know so badly. Right. By only talking about what we have saved, we're on an even footing. She told me if I knew everything, then we could focus on the kids who have less from the kids who have more. That our younger two are probably going to be the worst off long term, and that she would be open to combining everyone's money and dividing it evenly. I told her that I was not on board with that and that what my son has from his mom is not going to be shared or used in any of the other kids' savings. We argued about it, but I refused to say otherwise. She feels like that's wrong when we're married. I told her it's not my money, nor is it her money or money that we could or should be assessing. It's from my late wife to our son, and that's all there is to it.
Right. Right. Pretty much. Right. Man, it's the greed, bruh. It's the greed. You worried about what this young man's mother left him on her dying bed. And I'm going to keep saying it that way because it needs to be said that way to wake some of you people up out there to the facts at hand here. This young man's mother on her dying bed left him a decent inheritance. We don't know how much. It don't matter. All I'm saying is, though, the stepmother has no right to want to get this 16-year-old young man to split money and things like that because like the father said, that's not even his money. The father's not even using his own son's money. Let's just think this shit through. We clearly see that from what the story is being told right here, that they went through, a little hard times, things like that. They had to get, they weren't able to save for the rest of the children or the children period, things like that. They had to use it for house maintenance and things like that. So they went through a little period, just normal life stuff. So, obviously they're not, like millionaires or no shit like that, but they're, they're working it out. They're, decent people trying to, do normal human being shit, basically, and providing for the family, doing normal maintenance on homes and stuff like that when you own a home. I get that. I own a home, so I get it. But all I'm saying is, though, no, she has no right to try to dive off into the inheritance that young man's deceased mother passed down to him. That's his shit. I'm sorry that your ex-husband hadn't passed away and you got his life insurance policy to provide for your children. It's crazy out here.
My wife said that she feels like I'm keeping her in the dark and not trusting her with something important. She said it cuts her ability to fully engage in conversations we need to be able to have and decisions we need to make as a couple. Am I the asshole? No.
No, you're not. And she's not in the dark because what she want to know ain't her goddamn business.
It's none of her business.
That's literally that's what his mama left for him.
Yep. And he's standing by the promise that he made to his late wife. Yeah. Just like if you swear him to a promise for you guys as children, he's gonna stand by that.
Again, like I said last week, your ass only here because she not there no more.
Ooh, hey, that's tough. That's tough. But he spoke the truth, though. He spoke the truth. The only reason why the new wife is there is because the first wife passed away due to, medical, probably malpractice from what was said in the first place, in the beginning of the broadcast here. from what was said, that, you know, it was some type of medical issues and stuff like that. She was misdiagnosed and things of that nature. So it was some type of medical malpractice, and she won a lawsuit. It had that money on top of the money that they was already saving. And plus, you know, of course, she probably had her own savings as well. You know, it just is what it is here. So yeah, nah, that has nothing to do with the new wife and her children that she brought into the marriage, and also the two youngest children that they just had with each other. And we have to think about this shit. Let's think this through. He's honoring the position that and things like that, you know, his first wife put in place to their child, even over the two youngest children that they just had together. So, you know, those are still his kids too, the two youngest children that they had together. And see, this is the issue with this blended family situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I know this shit got made popular back in the 70s with the Brady Bunch situation, but shit, that was a whole show. It was a farce, you know. And when you get in these types of situations, and we see clearly, you know, how things are going, definitely what we see over the internet, you know, reason why men are not just gun-ho to, you know, want to marry women with children and stuff like that. Situations like this do pop up, you know, and I'm not saying that, of course, it's not maybe just common on an everyday basis, but nah, man, she shouldn't expect, you know, that young man to, you know, split his inheritance from his late mother with everybody else when his own father don't even use his money. You know, you really gotta honor that. You really gotta respect that. His own father is not even using the money. When they went through hard times, he wouldn't even go into his son's account and take money out, because he does have access as the adult of the situation, because the young man is 16. He has no legal access to any paperwork or nothing like that. He can't sign any paperwork, documents, none of that shit at 16. So, you know, even his own father is not using his money. So how dare she try to sit there and say, like, when she find that information out, well, you know, I think we just need to add all of it into the pot. No, that's not going to work. That's not how that goes down. And thank God that this man has some type of backbone to put his foot down and let her know, like, no, that's his money. I don't even spend his money. You know, like, come on, people. Come on now.
So you should be thanking her that you got a good man now, because had she not passed on, you wouldn't even be here in the first place. You are.
Yeah.
Right. And I know her thinking is, his oldest son probably
knows he has quite a bit more.
Feels like he has enough, and he's going to have way more than his younger half sibling.
He is naturally, because he's the oldest,
right?
Naturally.
So, but here's the flip side of that. Who's to say that he won't help his younger siblings
if they need help when they become of age? Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But for you to think that you finna stick your hand in his cookie jar,
yeah,
and
think it's fair to make everybody
to give to your, that his mama left him.
Am I
right? That ain't gonna work. And you know, it is what it is, people. And I don't agree with nothing that the new wife is saying. She could be in her feelings all day. Who really cares? You know, at this point, I'm glad that this man is standing 10 toes down to honor the agreement and the duty that he accepted to protect, you know, his child and stuff like that, you know, finances that, you know, she left him on her dying bed. You know, listen, look, people, and this is some of the things that could possibly happen when we have these blended families and all this type of stuff and things like that at these situations. And, you know, women are going to be women. They're going to want to protect, you know what I'm saying, their offspring regardless, even if the offspring doesn't belong to you. And this is the case right here. Yeah, she mentioned, like, listen, look, let's just tally up what every child has and stuff like that, or we don't know what grandparents are saving this and who doing that, woo to woo, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I guarantee she felt some type of way when she found that out. and probably knew the numbers and stuff like that, or figured out the numbers, or however it went, as she felt some type of way that, you know, this 16-year-old boy probably got so much, he probably sitting on so much money until it's probably ridiculous for a 16-year-old boy. You know, which, you know, at the end of the day, though, that was left to him. The bulk of that was left to him by his deceased mother, because obviously she probably won a lawsuit for the malpractice and all other types of things. So it just is what it is here, you know. Yeah, man, thank God that the dad is standing 10 toes down for righteousness, you know. And like I said, at the end of the day, though, you know, this is an upstanding man, because you know, he's still trying to provide for his own 2 youngest children that he had with her. And he's also, I guarantee you, providing for the children that she brought into the marriage and things like that. And they trying to work that out regardless of the ups and downs and the struggles and stuff like that, that you're going to go through naturally as, you know, you live life as human beings with children, family, stuff like that, or you know, single, it don't matter. You're going to go through struggles in this life. And obviously, you know, he was like, we'll figure it out. And things like that. I'm not, you know, want to touch, you know what I'm saying, my son's money that was left to him by his mother, because that's his money. And obviously his father hadn't even touched it when they was going through hard times. Pay attention, people. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.